Welcome to A Slice of Bacon with Matt Bacon, a podcast about movies and television, but mostly movies. It's April 8th, 2016, and today I discuss the new trailer for Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, a major shift in Warner Brothers' upcoming slate of films, which includes Wonder Woman and Jungle Book Origins, a number of new trailers, and finally, I try and predict the weekend's box office. But first, if you like this podcast or even tolerate it, you can like it on Facebook at facebook.com/ASOB podcast, or just search A Slice of Bacon podcast on the top of any Facebook page. And if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes. And if you're so inclined, please leave a rating and a review. Every little bit counts, and I hope that each episode is an improvement on the last. Finally, I want your listener questions. Want my thoughts on a trailer or news story I might have missed? Would you like to know more about me and my movie habits? Do you just want to hear your name spoken by yours truly? If so, you can find me on Twitter at BaconRelatedPun or via email at asliceofbaconpod@gmail.com. Now with that out of the way, it's time for the news. The first teaser for Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, premiered yesterday on Good Morning America, and so far, reaction across the internet has been largely positive. This is the first of many planned anthology films taking place in the world of Star Wars. The film tells the story of a group of resistance fighters, led by Felicity Williams Jane Erso, who band together on a daring mission to steal plans for the Empire's Death Star. Rogue One, directed by Gareth Edwards, also stars Diego Luna, Ben Mendelsohn, Donnie Yen, Forrest Whitaker, Mads Mikkelsen, and Alan Tudyk, and comes out on December 16th of this year. Now, the trailer, I felt, did what it needed to do. It sold that this was a new Star Wars film, but that it was in a different time period than the episodes. And that was exactly what this trailer was set out to do. Let people know that this was not a continuation of A Force Awakens. So it was familiar without being the same. Was it a great trailer? It had some great moments. But should we be worried? Maybe just a little bit. Now I will start with the good stuff. The AT-AT shots looked great, with them shooting at Felicity Williams and the fighters on the beach. That looked very cool. It looked very warlike. It was something that we've never seen in a Star Wars film. So it reminded me a lot of Batman vs. Superman, the first 10 minutes of that film, when we were watching everything from Batman's or Bruce Wayne's perspective as things are going on as they tower above. And I think that's great. I hope there's more of that. I hope that scene that we see in the teaser is not all that we get. The compositions looked great. The new trooper designs, they looked kind of cool. I'm not really sold on them yet, only because the black stormtrooper designs are ones that we have not seen in the original trilogy. So I'd like to know why we get them in this film, but we don't see them in any other film during this time period. Now for the bad. The dialogue was quite clunky. While the scene that had Mon Mothma in it looked great because she looked like the original Mon Mothma, the line, "This is a rebellion, isn't it? Isn't it? I rebel." I groaned when I heard this, and it affected my viewing of the trailer. I came out of that line thinking, I really hope that the movie is better than this. The alarm that went off after that is pretty cool, but then they end the trailer with Forrest Whitaker again, and I forget what his line was, but it wasn't great. It wasn't groan-worthy like I rebel, but it made me think, I hope the script for this movie isn't bad. But this teaser, I guess, this isn't really a trailer, it's more of a teaser. It has no context. We saw little clips. We know that Felicity Williams is a rebel. We know that she bands together with a team of rebels to steal the Death Star planes. That's all we know. We have no other context. We don't know much more about the story, and we won't until the first trailer. This was only trying to sell us on a non-episode Star Wars film, and I think it did its job. Again, the next trailer needs to sell the story, but this one didn't. And for now, I'm very excited, and I can't wait to see what Star Wars has in the future. Next up, Warner Brothers announced they changed in their film slate for the next few years. Wonder Woman has been moved up 3 weeks from June 23rd to its new date of June 2nd, 2017. Along with that, 2 other unnamed DC films have been put on the roster for October 5th, 2018 and November 1st, 2019. Meanwhile, Jungle Book Origins has been pushed back a year from October 6, 2017 to October 19, 2018. Andy Serkis reacted to this news on Facebook with a post to his many fans. His response read, "I've got to say that personally I'm absolutely thrilled that Warner Brothers have changed the delivery date of our movie. The ambition for this project is huge. What we are attempting is an unprecedented level of psychological and emotional nuance in morphing the phenomenal performances of our cast into the facial expressions of our animals." Now, this whole announcement shows 2 things. WB is showing they're not giving up with the DC universe, and they're actually doubling down on it. And Disney's Jungle Book must be damn good. Starting out with the DC stuff, Wonder Woman being moved up doesn't really tell us much, but it does tell us that they are watching what it's going up against. Now it's only going up against Bad Boys 3, whereas before it was going up against the new Transformers film. So they know, they being WB knows that this Wonder Woman movie has to be a hit. Their drop-off in the second week for Batman v Superman was unprecedented and unexpected. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are now soured on another DC film. So they need to show that Wonder Woman is different. It is not Zack Snyder. It is it's a totally different entity. As for the 2 dates of unnamed DC films, that's also to show that there is more than just Snyder's Justice League. That they have way more in their arsenal, and that if Justice League isn't good, they still have other films out there. Now, do I think the Batman movie, the standalone, is one of those 2 dates? Yes, I do. It'd be great if that date was the 2008 one, but I'm thinking it's probably the 2019 one. As for Jungle Book Origins, I'm thinking that one was moved back not because of technology, but because of how similar it is to the Disney version. All I know, I haven't seen it yet, but Jon Favreau's Jungle Book has a lot of technological advances. All of it was shot on a soundstage. None of it was shot in the wild with real animals at all. So I don't think that Andy Serkis wants his film to come out so close to the Disney film, because even in a year, it will still be talked about if it's as good as what I've heard. I wouldn't be surprised if this movie eventually gets canceled. It's been moved back twice. It was originally supposed to come out this year. It is not now. We'll see what happens there. Now it's time to talk about a number of new trailers that came out since Monday. I find my trailers via Movie Clips Trailers on YouTube, and if you wish to watch all these for yourself, you can go to that page, youtube.com/movieclipstrailers. The first one is for Swiss Army Man, starring Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe, which comes out June 17th, 2016. Now, this is the movie that people were calling the farting boner corpse film at Sundance. Daniel Radcliffe plays a dead body that washes on to shore, where Paul Dano's character is living. And it looks like a funny, dark comedy. It looks very surreal. It looks wild, but it actually looked pretty good. It didn't seem like it took itself too seriously. And A24 has a great track record on their distribution. So I would definitely check out this trailer. I am very much looking forward to the film. The second trailer is for the BFG, which is the new Spielberg film starring Mark Rylance and Ruby Barnhill, which comes out on July 1st of this year. While I know this is Spielberg, I was not sold on this trailer. The first 30 seconds are seen in the teaser, and that's okay. But the CGI looked very weak in parts, and some of the compositing looked downright awful. For example, the BFG carrying the little girl in his hand, and also the scene where the BFG hides from the man in the baseball cap, which I'll be honest, that looked really weird. The look of the film does not look modern, so when I saw a guy walking on the street at night in a baseball cap and a hoodie, I kind of thought that was very off-putting. I didn't like it, but we'll see. We will see about that. Also, as it comes to Spielberg, he made Hook, Indiana Jones 4, and Tintin. While I wouldn't call Tintin a bad film, it wasn't great. A lot of the humor was it just wasn't right. And I've read Tintin comics, and I just thought there was a little bit off there. Indiana Jones 4, that was a family film, but he made some mistakes that I can't blame on George Lucas, such as the flying monkeys looking the way they did, or any scene involving Shia LaBeouf. Hook, that speaks for itself. It's a film that a lot of people have nostalgia for. There's a mix of a pogo song that uses Hook, and I love it, but the movie Hook isn't that good. I liked it when I was younger. I revisited it when I was older. Doesn't hold up. I would like to see another trailer for this film before I decide whether or not I'm going to spend the money to go see it on my own. I'm really hoping it's good. I like Spielberg, but maybe he should stick to adult dramas. We'll see. The third trailer is David Brent, Life on the Road, starring Ricky Gervais, and it comes out August 2016. Now, this is a spin-off of the Office UK version. David Brent was the original Michael Scott, and in this one he plays the boss from The Office in his version of the show, but now he's a singer-songwriter and he's going around doing concerts and stuff. This teaser was very funny. It had awkward and hard-to-watch humor, but I liked it. It reminded me of the humor I saw on Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's a little bit more blue. The whole joke was about semen and sex, but if that's the kind of thing you're into, was hilarious, and I want to see an actual trailer because this teaser was laugh out loud funny, especially the joke about cumin. So, I don't know when it's going to come out in the States because this is a BBC production. As I said, August 2016, but nowhere could I actually find a specific date for the United States. Finally, rounding this out is Neighbors 2, Sorority Rising, starring Seth Rogen, Rose Byrne, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Zac Efron, which comes out on May 20th, 2016. Now, this trailer was a Red Band trailer, and that was because they had a bit of sex in it, and language, of course. This movie looks better than the original. I really want to see it. I thought the clown gag is hilarious. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the clown gag, I'm not going to ruin it because explaining jokes kills jokes. So go watch the trailer. Zac Efron looks way more tolerable in this, as it looks like he's actually playing the good guy rather than the antagonist, which he played in the first film. There is a lot less of a focus on Seth Rogen's character in this trailer than there was in the first movie, and I'm hoping... It was just... The first movie... It was underwhelming. I had heard so many great things about it from other people that when I went to watch it on Redbox, I found the jokes kind of lame, and while the movie wasn't horrible, it could have been much, much funnier, and I'm hoping that the addition of Chloe Grace Moretz and the sorority adds a new dynamic to the comedy. This trailer I enjoyed. All the trailers I've enjoyed so far, so I will probably see this movie when it comes out, just because I've been so enamored by the trailers. Of course, bad reviews could change that. Now, finally, it's the end of the week, which means it's time to predict the weekend box office. Both The Boss and Hardcore Henry come out today, and I believe both are going to share the top 5 for sure. I just don't have a clue where they're going to be on this top 5 because Batman vs. Superman or Batman v Superman could still wildly fluctuate, but I'll give it my best guess. I believe number 1 will be The Boss, with number 2 being Batman v Superman, still above number 3, Zootopia, which will ride above number 4, Hardcore Henry, and finally rounding out the top 5 will be My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 at number 5. Now, Hardcore Henry, I don't think is going to make too much this weekend. I think it's going to be in the 8 million range, around there, maybe a little bit lower at 7 million, maybe a little bit higher at 9. But I don't see it overtaking Zootopia only because it is such a great film, and Hardcore Henry has been getting terrible reviews outside of its South by Southwest performance. As for My Big Fat Greek Wedding, I think it'll still be up there because those 2 Christian movies, or the 2 religious films that came out, are not having that much staying power. And I just think that people are still going to see My Big Fat Greek Wedding, to at least enough of them that it will beat every other film. The Boss also hasn't been getting very good reviews, but it is Melissa McCarthy. So I think it will end up on top, and I think Batman v Superman will fall into the 30 million range at the most. So we'll just see. But that's what I think. The Boss, then Batman v Superman, then Zootopia, then Hardcore Henry, then My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. Well, that about does it for my Friday show. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like A Slice of Bacon on Facebook, subscribe on iTunes, and send me questions via Twitter and email. Until Monday, have a great weekend.